Right now on Morning News Now, a message of defiance from President Trump to a divided Congress. The president defending what he calls the early wins of his second term and calling out his critics on Capitol Hill.
These people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
We'll have highlights from last night's contentious joint address, plus the protests and pushback from top Democrats. Also this morning, worry on Wall Street over the president's steep tariffs targeting key trade partners. Stocks sinking for a second straight day yesterday over fears of an all-out trade war. Now the Trump administration signaling it could pull back on plans as early as today. We will bring you the latest. Plus, picking up the pieces, developing this morning, a wild winter storm ravaging parts of the U.S. And it's not over yet. We're tracking the system as it makes its way east. And 'tis the season to do your taxes. That's right. The tax deadline is just weeks away. What you need to know as April 15th creeps closer, plus some tips on how to make the most out of your returns this year. We'll make it a little fun.
Exactly. April 15th will come faster than you know it. Good morning. Good to have you with us on a busy news day. I'm Joe Fryer.
And I'm Savannah Sellers. And we're going to get started this morning with President Trump's joint address to Congress. In a sprawling partisan speech, the president touted his newly imposed tariffs, the crackdown on illegal immigration, and cuts to what he called wasteful spending, all while celebrating the end of what he described as woke policies like diversity and inclusion and regulations on fossil fuels.
The night was not without drama. Within the first few minutes of the speech, one Democratic lawmaker, Texas Congressman Al Green, was removed from the chamber for disrupting the proceedings and refusing to sit down. He was yelling that the president had no mandate to cut Medicaid. That did not deter President Trump, who went on to speak for an hour and 40 minutes, the longest joint address to Congress in recent history. He compared himself to George Washington and declared that America's golden age has only just begun. Here are some key moments.
We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started. We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties.
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. The chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session.
And our country will be woke no longer. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again. Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control. To that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency. DOGE. Perhaps you've heard of it. Reciprocal tariffs kick in, and whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. It's time to end this senseless war. If you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides. My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future, because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Now, meanwhile, Democrats picked a rising star and relative newcomer to deliver their rebuttal. Michigan Senator Alyssa Slotkin is a former CIA analyst who served 3 tours in Iraq and won the open Senate seat in this swing state last year. Last night, she introduced herself to the American people and warned those listening to President Trump's address to read the fine print.
President Trump is trying to deliver an unprecedented giveaway to his billionaire friends. He's on the hunt to find trillions of dollars to pass along to the wealthiest in America. And to do that, he's going to make you pay in every part of your life. Americans made it clear that prices are too high and that the government needs to be more responsive to their needs. America wants change, but there's a responsible way to make change and a reckless way. And we can make that change without forgetting who we are as a country. Don't for one moment fool yourself that democracy isn't precious and worth saving.
For more, let's bring in NBC News White House correspondent Aaron Gilchrist. Aaron, good morning. Lots to cover. This was the president's first speech to Congress in his second term. Came 6 weeks into his term. Axios reporting 9,900 words. He covered a lot of ground, though it did take a while to get to really what's voters' top issue right now, and that's the economy. What were some of the biggest headlines?
Yeah, you're right. Almost 2 hours in this speech from President Trump last night. He did touch on a lot of these social and culture war issues. He touched on a few policy issues as well. We didn't really hear any new proposals from President Trump in this speech last night. We heard him talk about the things that he sees as his successes in the last 6 weeks, or the first 6 weeks of this second term. He talked about, he attacked transgender athletes, as we've heard him do before. He blasted DEI programs and said that wokeness is gone as a result of some of the hundreds of executive orders that he's signed in the last several weeks. He did ask Congress for a couple of things. He asked Congress for money, for funding for border security and more deportation. He asked Congress for money for a missile defense shield that he wants to see built during this 4-year term that he has. And on those economic issues, he didn't do a really deep dive on the thing that really was the driver during the course of the campaign, the thing that more people that I talked to when I was out on the campaign trail really cared about, and that was trying to make sure costs were lowered and things became more affordable, that their lives became easier. He talked about wanting to balance the budget and said that he wanted to make sure there were no taxes on tips, on overtime, on Social Security. But that really was about it as it relates to these economic issues outside of the tariffs that we know have now been imposed on Canada, China, and Mexico. The president suggesting that some of these tariffs would lead to more job creation by way of companies coming into the United States and making things here. Of course, Elon Musk was in the chamber. He got a pat on the back from the president for the work that he's been doing with DOGE in terms of downsizing the federal government, both from a spending budgetary perspective, but also from a workforce perspective, something that we know will continue, Joe and Savannah. And of course, you mentioned Representative Al Green, who stood up during the president's remarks almost at the very beginning in protest, saying that the president did not have a mandate as it relates to Medicare, expressing concern, as some of the signs that Democrats were holding up also expressed about cuts coming for health care for the poorest Americans in this country.
Aaron, let's talk now about the Democrat side of this, the rebuttal. First, what went into their decision in choosing Michigan Senator Alyssa Slotkin, and then tell us the heart of her message to the American people. We just heard a bit of it.
Yeah, Reagan would be rolling in his grave, she said during some of her remarks, referencing the Oval Office meeting between President Trump and President Zelensky of Ukraine, and of course, Vice President J.D. Vance being mixing it up there as well. But a lot of her speech also focused on her concerns about where America is going under President Trump's leadership. She warned about reckless leadership potentially leading to a recession in this country, and said that his plans don't help the average American, that they help the wealthiest among us. And she said that change is necessary. She agreed that there could be some efficiencies found in the federal government, but she said that chaos was not necessary and was not going to be helpful. You noted that she is a freshman senator, having served in the House of Representatives, but she won in a district of Michigan where Donald Trump also won. And there are some people who see her as a moderate Democrat, one who may be the example for Democrats to follow as elections come down the pike. The midterms obviously coming up in 2 years. And so she was one voice that Democrats wanted to elevate as potentially the next generation of the party.
Aaron, these speeches keep the fact checkers busy. Last night was no different. What did we hear last night that needs to be corrected this morning?
One of the things that stood out to me was the president's remarks about Social Security benefits. He took the time to say that there are millions of people over the age of 100. He suggested that there's even one person on Social Security rolls who may be more than 300 years old. And that was something that caught a lot of people's attention. We've done some reporting on this in the past where there are people over 100, well over 100, who are in the Social Security database. But auditors have said that those people aren't necessarily receiving benefits. It's a flaw in the record keeping, not money that's being doled out to people who don't exist. And then, of course, were his comments about egg prices, saying that former President Joe Biden was responsible for an increase in prices. There were increases during the Biden administration. This most recent increase that we've seen in egg prices, Joe and Savannah, is really more due to bird flu that has been going through the egg-producing chicken population around this country.
All right, Aaron Gilchrist. Aaron, thank you so much.
Well, relations between the U.S. and Ukraine appear to be improving after President Trump struck a more favorable tone toward President Zelensky during this speech to Congress. Mr. Trump read from a letter sent to him by Zelensky outlining Ukraine's willingness to work with the White House towards peace.
Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter. Just got it a little while ago.
This is a pretty dramatic change from what we witnessed in the Oval Office between these two leaders on Friday, just 5 days ago. That's when Zelensky's visit to the White House was cut short following a contentious meeting that played out in front of cameras. Mr. Trump made the decision to pause military aid to Ukraine in the days after that meeting.
For more on this, let's bring in NBC News reporter Matt Bodner. Matt, good morning. So first, let's play a little more of Trump's reading from this letter from Zelensky yesterday.
My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence.
Matt, people may remember this decision from Trump earlier this week to pause military aid to Ukraine. Any idea that maybe that's what spurred this?
Thanks, Savannah. I think that's a reasonable assessment. It's very clear that this puts Zelensky, but also Europe, in a very serious, a very difficult position. Let's just take a step back for a moment and kind of consider the current line of contact in the war in Ukraine. It's been relatively stable, more or less, for about a year now, even longer. And the reason I'm pointing that out is Ukraine is fighting a lot of this war with Ukrainian-made weapons at this point in time. There's a lot of drones. Just the nature of the fight has changed so much since earlier in the war when American weapons really did make an existential difference early on. So things have moved a little bit, but American weapons remain absolutely critical. There's obviously a lot of support from Europe as well, but America brings some very high-profile systems into play, things like HIMARS, even just things such as artillery and just ammunition production capacity. America is almost irreplaceable on a lot of these fronts. And I think for Ukraine to have to face the prospect of losing those things, it would really alter the way the fight is going now. It would put the Ukrainian military in a very different position. It would put Ukrainian civilians in a very different position. I want to point out the Patriot air defense missile system, which currently acts as a big shield around major cities like Kyiv right now. These cities are under siege. They're getting hit by Russian drones and missiles every single day. Things you're hearing about that are correct, though they are exaggerated, the scale of devastation. In some places, a lot of places, Kyiv, for example, in Kharkiv, life goes on to a great extent because of something like Patriot. It's really effective at what it does. It catches a lot of the munitions that Russia's currently using to attack civilians in these cities every single day. So the idea of losing supplies like that, I think, really, again, put Zelensky and Europe in a very difficult position. Europe doesn't have the capability to replace something like Patriot. So I think it's a fair assessment that pushed the needle in that direction.
So, Matt, looking forward here, this minerals deal, which was supposed to happen Friday, it didn't. If signed, it would just be the first step toward peace. There's still the very thorny issue of security guarantees. What's next for Ukraine? And is there any indication when this minerals deal could be signed?
So that's the next big question now. Obviously, we've heard from President Trump. It seems like the two sides are getting ready to come back together. For Trump, it's clear that he wants to move forward with this as quickly as possible, the mineral deal and the general peace process as a whole. Zelensky, I think, found himself in a very difficult situation the past few days, wants to get out of this situation as quickly as possible. The Europeans as well. So this could happen really at any moment in the next few days. What we're hearing now is that French President Macron, UK Prime Minister Starmer may actually be traveling sometime in the next week or so, we don't quite know, to Washington with Zelensky to present a united front and get things back on track.
Matt, quickly tell us what's been the reaction in Russia to this.
There's been a lot of reactions. They are generally quite happy with everything that they've seen playing out here. For the past few weeks, there's been a giant argument between the Western allies and Ukraine about how to approach negotiations with Russia. We haven't really heard anything in terms of what Russia is willing to give away. And frankly speaking, looking at their statements, they've rejected most of the proposals that have been publicly aired, things like Western troops from non-American but NATO countries acting as peacekeepers in Ukraine. Russia's denied that. So on the whole, their position is just as intransigent as it was on day one of the war. Savannah?
All right, Matt Bodner, thank you very much.
Let's focus more on the U.S. economy now. Wall Street had a strong reaction to President Trump's tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. On Tuesday, all three major U.S. markets closed lower amid fears the president's tariffs could escalate, becoming a full-blown trade war with America's biggest trading partners.
This morning, though, U.S. stocks are expected to rebound following European markets higher. That's because of comments from Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. He told Fox Business News yesterday that the U.S. could work out a compromise deal with Canada and Mexico that would scale back those tariffs. Let's listen to what he said.
Both the Mexicans and the Canadians were on the phone with me all day today, trying to show that they'll do better. And the president's listening because, you know, he's very, very fair and very reasonable. So I think he's going to work something out with them. It's not going to be a pause, none of that pause stuff. But I think he's going to figure out, you do more, and I'll meet you in the middle some way. And we're going to probably be announcing that tomorrow.
NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Chung joins us now. So we heard it right there from the secretary. We could expect some sort of announcement as early, he said tomorrow, that is now today. So it could be as early as today. And already futures show there's some signs that investors share that optimism, right?
Yeah. I think the challenge with the optimism is that we don't know what that announcement would be.
Yeah.
I mean, presumably it sounds like there could be some sort of agreement with one or some of the countries that were part of the tariffs that took effect midnight yesterday, which could perhaps lead to the lifting of those tariffs only about 24 hours after they were put in place, or 36 hours after they were put in place. But nonetheless, we have to see exactly what that announcement is. It's just kind of a refresher here. We're talking about the 25% tariffs on our neighbors to the north and south, Mexico and Canada, as well as the additional 10% on China. But when you had the president that was on the world stage just last night touting the benefits of these tariffs, you do imagine that the bar is relatively high for wanting to then lift that. But as we know, the administration has pinned any sort of progress on the fentanyl trafficking into the United States as a sign of progress to then lift the tariffs. Maybe he's seen something from that with regards to Mexico and Canada. Maybe that's what leads to some sort of announcement later on today.
Yeah, this was obviously a piece of what he said last night. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, look, when it comes to the tariffs, he actually acknowledged that this could lead to some price pressures, at least in the interim. Take a listen to what President Trump said with regards to the tariffs yesterday.
Tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that.
Little disturbance. I mean, among the 2 hours of commentary that we heard from the president yesterday, those were the two words that really caught my attention the most, because of the fact that he's really basically telling the American people, look, prices probably will go up. And we've heard this from the likes of Target and Best Buy in commentary yesterday. If companies in the United States have to pay more to bring something into the U.S., guess what? In many cases, they will pass that on to the consumers.
Which begs the question, how soon could consumers see this? You mentioned Target. We actually heard Target talk about this.
Yeah, well, I mean, Target was saying that for groceries, we could see prices increase. And that's because when it comes to Mexico and Canada, we do import a lot of fruits and vegetables, as well as potatoes and grains. These are things that come in, and every time it now crosses that border, as long as these tariffs are in place, that's an extra 25% that a company like an importer will have to pay. They pass it on to a retailer like Target. Target then has to pass that on to the consumer. It might not be 25% to 25%, but there's going to be some bleed through there. So again, how long and prolonged do these tariffs stay in place? Maybe there's some sort of resolution today, as the Commerce Secretary was alluding to. But if not, every day that these tariffs are in effect is an increased likelihood that the American consumer is going to have to pay those costs.
All right, Brian Chung. Brian, thank you so much.
As always. Well, this morning, a powerful storm is making its way across the country, threatening to bring blizzard conditions to the upper Midwest and gusty thunderstorms to much of the East Coast.
The system's already leaving a trail of damage in the south. In eastern Mississippi, the strong winds ripped the roof off of this jail. The inmates were moved to another jail nearby. That same system is responsible for this damage in North Texas, where planes flipped over at an airport near Dallas. And in New Orleans, the Mardi Gras flags snapping in the wind as the storm threatened to cancel yesterday's festivities. Organizers were able to still pull off the parade, though. NBC News correspondent Jesse Kirsch was in New Orleans and shows us what happened.
The potentially dangerous storms are bearing down on tens of millions of Americans.
Possible funnel cloud right in front of me.
From the upper Midwest to the deep South.
This is moving fast. If you were under that tornado warning, you need to be in your shelter now.
Everything from blizzard whiteouts to tornadoes are possible.
I mean, it just went right through here.
At least 2 twisters already confirmed in Oklahoma, with dust storms blowing over parts of Texas. Hundreds of thousands of power outages reported. And Dallas-Fort Worth Airport temporarily grounded all flights. Outside Dallas, these small airplanes tossed around. Meanwhile, several homes and buildings were damaged.
I was scared. I mean, I just said the prayer. I just said, God, don't let any of us get killed.
The dangerous storm sweeping across the South on Fat Tuesday, jeopardizing massive Mardi Gras celebrations. New Orleans still held its major parade, but cut the event short. Despite the ominous forecast, tens of thousands still lined the streets.
We're going to always come outside. We're not about to stop. We're not stopping nothing. We're going to still party.
In all, roughly 15 million people are at risk of severe weather. Roughly 16 million people are under winter alerts that include some blizzard warnings. And roughly 17 million people face red flag fire warnings. Meanwhile, little relief as this stretch of severe weather keeps marching across the country.
For more on the severe cross-country storm, let's check in with your Morning News Now weather.
Meteorologist Angie Lastman joins us. Angie, good morning.
Hi, guys. Good morning. We've got one more day-ish to deal with this system, but it's still going to be a busy one. We've still got basically all the same impacts that we had yesterday, just in different locations. So let's highlight some of those spots. This morning, it is, of course, active across the southeast. Notice we've got this thunderstorm watch that's going to go for a little while longer. We've got a couple more hours on that. It does extend into northern Florida and up into southern portions of South Carolina. This line of thunderstorms, of course, already prompting some of these thunderstorm warnings and even tornado warnings across the Carolinas. So heads up, that's what we're watching here through the day today. And it will shift a little farther to the east. Notice where that enhanced risk is centered. Norfolk down to Charleston, including Raleigh and Wilmington. And that's through the afternoon hours. All the same impacts as yesterday, or the potential for them, I should say. We've got wind gusts up to 75 miles per hour, and we've got the chance for some of those tornadoes. Again, this goes through this afternoon. The chilly side of this system is also busy. We've got blizzard warnings that are up. Remember, we've got not just impressive snowfall rates happening up to 2 inches per hour, but also some really strong winds across this region. So travel going to be extremely difficult for our friends across the upper Midwest. No surprise, we've got 18 million people under winter alerts this morning. And on top of that, those wind warnings, 114 million people included in those. Strongest wind gusts, 40, 50, 60, even close to 70 miles per hour. You know what that means. Airport likely delays across those major hubs across specifically the Central Plains, but really anywhere out east we could see that, and we'll also see some of those widespread power outages. Now, this is the last gasp, that's kind of a tongue twister, of this winter storm. So we'll see the strong winds and snow for the upper Midwest. We've got the heavy rain, severe risk for parts of the East Coast, stretching down to the southeast, and then still some chilly winds across the Great Lakes tomorrow. But this is kind of where we see things wrapping up. It'll be a little slick and kind of cold across the Northeast, and then we'll see a change. Now, a couple of things. Topsy-turvy. How good is that word? Guys? Is it one word or is it 2 words? I don't know. Whatever. Either way, I really like it. And it basically describes our temperatures that we're going to see here over the next couple of days. We've got really warm winds out ahead of that system. So that means across the Northeast, yeah, we might see some rain today, but temperatures in places like New York running above normal. 57 degrees. We've got mid-60s for Washington, D.C., upper 60s for Charleston. Different story behind that system. Chilly temperatures, way colder than yesterday across the parts of the Midwest, guys. So 40s, 30s, 50s, kind of a range for our friends there.
It's like Freaky Friday on the weather map.
Yes, I like it. Another kind of topsy-turvy vibe.
Exactly.
Yeah. Got one to add?
This is my least favorite, though, when it's like warmish and rainy.
Oh, I hate a mist.
Yeah. Ugh,
I hate a mist.
Yeah.
In case you were wondering what my least favorite weather.
A lot of strong motions here. All right. No mists here.
Thanks, Angie.
Much more to come here on Morning News Now. Later this hour, it is that time again. We are springing forward this weekend. That last hour of sleep may do more than just tick you off. We're going to unpack how the time change could affect your health and what you can do to stay ahead.
But up first, continuing coverage on the health of Pope Francis as he spends another night in the hospital for double pneumonia. The latest from the Vatican is next. We will be right back.
Welcome back. Despite what appears to be the start of a trade war with the United States, China's leadership is trying to project economic strength. This week, the National People's Congress, that's the annual meeting of the Chinese legislature, is getting underway in Beijing.
Now, this largely ceremonial meeting brings together the nation's top leaders and thousands of provincial politicians, where they will essentially rubber stamp the Chinese Communist Party's agenda.
For more, let's bring in NBC News international correspondent Janice Mackey-Freyer, who joins us from Beijing. Janice, good morning. This meeting largely ceremonial, but the world does pay attention to the signals that China sends through this pretty carefully choreographed event. Their economy's in the spotlight. What is the message they're trying to project?
Well, with the economy slowing and an escalating trade war with the U.S., China's leadership is looking to telegraph confidence. Premier Li Qiang said the country's growth target is still set at around 5%, but he did hint that there are a lot of challenges ahead. He said it's not going to be easy. We must make, quote, arduous efforts to meet those goals. Beijing is going to boost military spending. It's expanding its reach and its strength in the region. It's also investing heavily in AI technologies like DeepSeek to help China be a tech innovator and be more self-reliant. But the confidence shown by officials, it's a lot harder to find among consumers who are juggling a property crisis, youth unemployment, and now this trade spat with the United States. These people are looking for economic stimulus, incentives, support payments, and so far there is no big package that's been revealed. But overall, the message is that China and Xi Jinping are not altering course despite turmoil in the world and obviously more combative President Trump.
And Janice, what are they saying about the U.S. imposing these tariffs and their own retaliatory moves?
Well, officially, there's now this move toward defiance. Yesterday, the Foreign Ministry spokesperson said China is ready to fight to the end. When the U.S. enacted more tariffs yesterday, China was very quick to respond with another round of tariffs on the United States. There's confidence here that China has been through this before. They had a trade war with President Trump during his first term, and they have since lessened their dependence on a lot of U.S. goods. But I asked one delegate today, who incidentally was a tech executive, whether China was worried about tariffs, and he told me, we never worry about it. We focus only on ourselves, how we can do better, and we don't worry about others. And so I said, so you don't worry about President Trump's next moves? And he replied, no, of course, nobody worries about it. And then he just walked off. What's curious is that even though China is not alone in getting hit with tariffs, the Trump administration is negotiating with Canada and Mexico, and there have been no discussions like that with China so far.
Janice, besides economics and trade, what are some of the other top issues that are on the agenda at this meeting?
AI. It's the big theme. There was this video that was produced, almost a promotional video, showing Chinese-made robots, humanoids doing kung fu. The video has gone viral on social media. Taiwan is also expected to be discussed. This is a territory that China claims as its own. Military activity almost normalized around the island. The premier today, in delivering the government's priorities for the next 5 years, said that China would, quote, firmly advance the push for reunification with Taiwan while opposing what they called external forces. This is a veiled reference to the U.S. What's happening with Ukraine and that Oval Office meeting between President Trump and President Zelensky are being very closely watched in Taiwan and also here in Beijing. It's being seen as a way to measure U.S. support beyond arms sales. Joe and Savannah.
Something the entire world is watching. Janice, thank you so much.
Let's get you some more international news now. We are getting new information this morning about Pope Francis's health.
NBC News international correspondent Kelly Kobiea has that and other world headlines. Kelly, good morning.
Good morning to you both. Yes, we've had a short update from the Vatican this morning saying that the Pope rested well during the night and woke up slightly after 8 a.m. The pontiff stable throughout the day on Tuesday. No fever, always alert and cooperative with treatments, the Vatican said late yesterday, adding that no more major breathing issues have happened and he no longer needs mechanical ventilation, only supplemental oxygen. Pope Francis was admitted to the hospital nearly 3 weeks ago for bronchitis and subsequently diagnosed with pneumonia in both lungs. In Indonesia, extreme floods have forced thousands to evacuate in the capital, Jakarta. Torrential rain has triggered floods as high as 9 feet there, according to the country's disaster agency. More than 1,000 houses are underwater, they said, and those heavy rains are forecast to continue for another 6 days. And guys, how's this for a fish story? 3 men say they were enjoying a peaceful day on the water north of New Zealand when a 900-pound bottlenose dolphin appeared to fall out of the sky, they said, and into their boat. The 11-foot-long juvenile was frolicking with a pod when it jumped and landed in the boat, breaking all the fishing rods, but nothing else. The men say it was too heavy to move back into the water, so they gave it a ride to a boat ramp, hosing it down and keeping it safe from the sun, where conservation experts then helped return it to the water. One of the fishermen guys said the dolphin got to swim away, and we got to walk away with a story to tell. Wow. What a story it is.
Good news all the way around. Good for them.
Okay, yeah. Thanks, Kelly. Coming up, they left for a 10-day mission, while 9 months later, 2 astronauts are still in space.
We came up prepared to stay long, even though we planned to stay short. That's what we do in human spaceflight.
When we come back, what they're saying about their extended stay as they prepare to finally come home. It's a different kind of space countdown. Instead of blasting off, 2 NASA astronauts are now just weeks away from finally returning to Earth after 9 months in space. Sunny Williams and Butch Wilmore have been on the International Space Station since last June, when they began what was supposed to be a 10-day mission. NBC News correspondent Emily Ikeda spoke to them as they prepare to finally come home.
Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Speaking out from space,
we are ready.
NASA astronauts Sunny Williams and Butch Wilmore now closing in on their long-awaited return to Earth.
And we'll be coming home, riding the plasma, splashing down in the ocean, so that's what we're looking forward to.
Alongside astronaut Nick Hague, who arrived on a different mission, the group is expected to swap out with the new crew and return home this month, nearly 300 days later than Williams and Wilmore initially planned.
But what has been the most challenging aspect about the changing timeline in space?
Hey, thanks, Emily, for that question, because immediately it brings to mind family and all the people on the ground who support us.
Their unexpectedly long stay, complicated by technical problems, has captured widespread attention and concern. President Trump suggesting they were virtually abandoned in space by the Biden administration, but the astronauts insist they're not stuck, steering clear of politicizing their time in orbit.
From my standpoint, politics is not playing into this at all. We came up prepared to stay long, even though we planned to stay short. That's what we do in human spaceflight.
The veteran astronauts have kept busy at the International Space Station with hundreds of experiments, 3D printing, and spacewalks. Williams even setting a record for the most spacewalk time by a woman, a staggering 62 hours and 6 minutes. And while the pair is excited to soon embrace their family, friends, and pups, their sense of wonder brighter than ever.
Hey, we're going to the moon and Mars. That's what my plan is.
I'll be right beside Butch if that's the case.
Emily Ikeda, NBC News.
Time now for our weekly medical checkup. First up, we're going to dive into what you need to know to stay feeling your best as we spring forward for daylight saving time this weekend.
Plus, how staying active might be the secret to keeping your brain sharp and lowering your risk of dementia and other diseases.
We have our friend NBC News medical fellow Dr. Akshay Syal joining us to discuss these headlines. Dr. Syal, good morning. Let's start with the fact that it is time to spring ahead for daylight saving time. On Sunday, clocks are going to move ahead an hour. That means most Americans will lose an hour of sleep. And besides just, being tired or discombobulated when you get up, there actually could be some health effects here. What should we know and what can be done to kind of try to offset any disruption?
Good morning, guys. Yeah, so in addition to being tired this upcoming week, there are some dark sides to daylight savings. No pun intended. We actually, we've seen over the years that the days following daylight savings, following the clock switch, we can actually have some health risks. You can see on your screen there. There actually is a higher risk of heart attacks and strokes and hospital visits, car crashes, even attention problems in kids in this coming week. So it's definitely something you want to be aware of. And we actually have some tips to sort of help your bodies adjust, and that brings us, to our doctor's orders here, Savannah, for this week. The first one is try to set your bedtime a little bit earlier if you can, about 15 to 20 minutes every single day, starting today, guys. You want to adjust that clock forward, and you want to make sure that when the clocks do switch, guys, next week, that you're getting plenty of sun exposure in the morning. It can actually help your body's internal clock and circadian rhythm start to reset more naturally, and hopefully avoid some of those scary health risks we just talked about.
Yeah. All right, you've been warned. Start now. You have a few days to get your body adjusted. Let's talk about the effects of chronic inflammation. Many longevity experts believe fighting it might be the key to healthy aging. So what exactly is it, Dr. Sayal, and can it be treated?
It's a great question, Joe. And, inflammation is one of the biggest buzzwords we have in medicine right now. It's the whole reason Tom Brady was making, ice cream out of avocados, and he was, not eating tomatoes. It's actually an effort to lower that inflammation. You can see some of the symptoms on your screen there, but, joint pain, fatigue, constipation, depression, guys, it's helpful to think of inflammation as acute versus chronic. In the short term, it's good for you. It can actually save your life. If you get cut by something or scraped by something, it prevents infection. But guys, in the long term, that chronic inflammation can lead to some of those symptoms out there. But guys, good news, there is something you can do about it, a way to lower the risk of chronic inflammation in the body. So that brings us to our doctor's orders, guys, here. Make sure you are exercising regularly, avoiding as much processed foods as you can. Those things, and especially following the Mediterranean diet, can actually help lower levels of inflammation in the body, guys.
God, we hear so much about the Mediterranean diet. It's so crazy. Dr. Sayal, before you go, this new study at the American Academy of Neurology's annual meeting, it found that people might be able to lower their risk of dementia by working out. How much exercise do you need here? And obviously, we know there's a lot of good things that come from dementia, but anything else surprising here? I mean, that come from exercising.
Yeah, so Savannah, this is a great point I want to make here, and this is something my patients ask me every single day, is what is moderate exercise? So you can see on your screen there, it's really moderate exercise that you want to aim for that's linked to those lower rates of neurologic problems like depression and dementia and problems like that. So guys, the magic number here, you really want to aim for 150 minutes a week of moderate exercise. And what does that look like, right? I'm not saying you have to go out and run a marathon, but things that include moderate exercise, it's things, guys, like walking uphill, or playing doubles tennis, ways to sort of make it fun. There's a good test, actually, guys, and it's if you can talk, but you can't sing, that's considered moderate exercise. If you can talk while you're doing it, but you can't sing, you're in the right spot. Huh. So that brings us to our doctor's orders here. Yeah, try to move as much as possible, move when you can, and make it fun. Play sports, invite friends over, do it together, make it a couples activity if you can. Those things combined should help lower those risks of disease.
I'm imagining people testing that out on the treadmill at the gym.
No one needs that from me. So, all right.
Thanks, Dr. Sayal.
All right, coming up, bad for business. Shares of Tesla sinking as protests grow against CEO Elon Musk. More on how his role in the White House could be impacting the company's success.
Plus, it's tax time. That's right. This year's tax deadline just a little over a month away. We're going to check in with tax expert, our friend Mark Stieber, for more on what you need to know before you file. Stay with us. This is Morning News Now. We're back now with a look at growing backlash against Tesla and how much polarized views on CEO Elon Musk and his role in the Trump administration are impacting the business. It's been a rough year for Tesla. When you talk about the stock market, shares fell over 4% after the closing bell on Wall Street just yesterday. And protests against the company are spreading across the U.S. Here's NBC News correspondent David Noriega with more.
In New Orleans, a usually festive Mardi Gras parade turning sour as the crowd spots some Tesla Cybertrucks. Onlookers booing, jeering, and pelting the vehicles with beads usually tossed at revelers. Just the latest sign of backlash to Elon Musk's central role in the Trump administration, now affecting his car company and those who buy his cars. Recent protests erupting outside Tesla dealerships in Manhattan, Boston, and Tucson, Arizona, calling for a boycott.
This is a protest against Trump and Musk
mainly because they're trying to take from the poor to pass a tax relief, they call it, for the wealthy.
And even an alleged arson attack targeting Tesla charging stations under investigation in Massachusetts. At the same time, posts on social media from people who say they're trying to sell their Tesla because they don't want to be associated with Musk. Including star musician Sheryl Crow waving goodbye to her towed Tesla.
I don't like Elon Musk.
NBC affiliate 9 News in Denver reporting on a dirt parking lot full of Teslas and speaking to another woman who sold hers.
He doesn't care about people. He has no empathy whatsoever. So he can be the richest man in the world, but I'm not going to help contribute to that.
But those selling might have trouble getting much in return. Used car website Car Gurus reporting that the average price of used Teslas has crashed from about $67,000 in 2022 to under $30,000 this month, not much more than your run-of-the-mill used car. That could just be due to loads of Tesla leases coming to an end, or it might have something to do with Musk's association with Trump.
I think the answer is it's too early to tell. It definitely is polarizing in both directions, whether it's GM or Hyundai, Kia. They're starting to put a lot more EVs into the marketplace, so that's going to continue to create competition for Tesla.
Tesla's stock price is also getting hammered this year, more than the broader market, dropping around 35% since President Trump took office with Musk at his side. But beyond Musk's politics, there are global factors at work, spooking the markets on Tesla. Softening demand in major foreign markets like China, which announced that Tesla shipments are down about 50% in February from the month before. And sales are down in Europe, too, where Musk's support for far-right parties has provoked some anger. But a global rise in nationalism might be at work, too.
There is a broader movement afoot globally where patriotic consumers, whether they're Chinese buyers or European buyers, there's an inward look at trying to really shield and protect your own brands, your own markets, and this is where we are now.
We reached out to Tesla for comment on the protests and its stock decline. We did not immediately hear back. Musk, meanwhile, brushing off his critics.
That the revolution might actually succeed, that we could restore power to the people instead of power to the bureaucracy.
To be clear, Tesla's stock is still above where it was the day before Donald Trump was elected last November. But there's no doubt that the apparent backlash to Elon Musk is going global. A Tesla dealership in the French city of Toulouse also hit by an alleged arson attack that authorities say completely destroyed 8 cars. A sign, perhaps, that Tesla's supercharged growth may be running out of juice. David Noriega, NBC News.
More money news now. Hundreds of U.S. federal buildings might soon have to put up a for sale sign.
CNBC's Savannah Hanau has your Money Minute headlines. Savannah, good morning.
Hey, Savannah. Hey, Joe. Good morning to you. Yeah, so the Trump administration announced Tuesday that it's considering selling off hundreds of federal properties as part of the president's plan to shrink the federal workforce. The initial list of 443 non-core assets posted to the General Services Administration website included the headquarters of the FBI and the Department of Justice. Now, these properties were later removed when the list was revised to around 300 assets, including commercial buildings that house local and regional offices for federal agencies. Meanwhile, Walt Disney is eliminating 6% of its workforce. That's about 200 employees. Bloomberg citing an internal memo saying that the majority of the layoffs affect the ABC News division in New York and that impacted employees will be notified later today. Now, the production units, including ABC News Studios 2020 and Nightline, will reportedly be consolidated as well. And Dairy Queen's Free Cone Day is returning this month. The one-day event will take place March 20th to mark the first day of spring. Now, the fast food chain is also giving customers the chance to win free cones for a year by downloading the Dairy Queen app and signing up for free rewards, guys.
Pros and cons, I feel like, to that.
Yeah, wow, dang.
To moderate it. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Savannah.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Well, in personal finance news, we are just over a month away from the deadline to file your taxes.
So if you haven't gotten around to it yet, don't worry. You do still have until April 15th, though many accountants would like to get all that info sooner rather than later. This morning, we've got you covered on everything you need to know to make sure you get the most out of your tax returns this year.
We have Chief Tax Information Officer at Jackson Hewitt, Mark Stieber, here for some tips on how to make filing easier. Mark, always great to have you. Good morning.
Be here. Yeah, it's in game now, as they say. So time to get yourself a plan and get your stuff organized.
Yeah, so tell us, for people who still do need to file and make sure that they don't miss the deadline or anything like that, what should they have in mind right now?
File early as you can. There's no reason to wait. You should have all of your documents. And if you're one of those people hiding under the plausible, well, I haven't got it yet, it's coming, it's not coming. It's time for you to take action. Call that bank, call that employer, call that whoever is supposed to send you the 1099. Waiting is not a strategy. Now, here's one thing we're seeing a lot of in the current cost-cutting world. Some people are not getting mailed their 1099s. They're getting an email saying, hey, you can download your documents, and it got stuck in the spam folder. So you might need to go check your spam folder if you're waiting for one final document. And if you're not, go see your pro. They know how to make the phone call and get it right there and get it sent over by email or text right away. So get your documents, get your plan. Don't wait till the last minute. Filing early still has all the benefits of locking up your data, getting your money. Refunds are up 7.5%. Nearly a third have already filed, leaves about 2/3 ready to go, but the money's flowing. $100 billion has already been sent out.
Well, we saw a few reports yesterday that suggest we could see major cuts to the IRS very quickly, which I would guess would worry folks like you and a lot of people. So when you talk about filing early, talk about the advantages of doing it as quickly as possible.
Even more so. Really, it's a kind of a myth that it's going to impact filing. First of all, the date does not change. No matter what happens, that's statutory. Secondly, a lot of the people that they're talking about are ones in the call center or support. So if you need some of that help, it would be a problem. But if you go see a pro, they know how to manage all of that anyway. As far as getting your refunds, those are on automatic in most cases. The people that will be impacted are those paper filers, so another good reason to electronically file, and also the people with inaccuracies that typically require a manual look. Make sure you're accurate, no guesstimating, no estimating. Now it's more important than ever because those people who would ordinarily go, oh yeah, he just left off a thing, we'll fix that. That's not going to happen. You'll be in the back end of that fix.
Around tax season, there's often a lot of misinformation online, unfortunately. What are some sort of like myths that you see that
I saw one this morning, sent it around. You can deduct your pets because you care for them. That is not true. Now, if you have a service animal or a guard animal for your business, maybe, but you do not get pets no matter how much you like little Fluffy. So beware of a lot of that misinformation. Fuel tax credit, employee retention credits, still a plague on the system. You can deduct the home office if you're an employee, another one we're seeing abused. You know, and then there's other good information out there. So you never know what really is true or not true unless you have a pro in your call-up list if you're doing it yourself, or if you got somebody who can just go see and say, hey, is this true? Do I get to take my next door neighbor's kids? They're over here all the time eating my food. No, you don't. Only your kids.
Keeping your pets alive is not a job. All right. It's good to know. For those who either have always done it themselves and are thinking of hiring a pro, or maybe they've moved, they're looking for a new pro, what is it you should be looking for? What are the questions you should?
Well, it's really simple. Like any professional service advisor, be it a painter or a carpenter or a doctor, you want to ask some basic questions. How much are you going to charge me? What's it going to cost? Now, you're not going to get a quick answer until they find out a little bit about you, and you're not Warren Buffett or Elon Musk, but you're just like Mark Steber, got a regular return. Secondly, what are your guarantees? Bad schemers don't usually guarantee their work, and they certainly won't put it in writing. A good pro will. Will you sign my tax return? Some of the scammers say, I don't need to sign it. It's under a certain amount. You always have to sign it if you're paying someone. And then, will you be open this summer when I get a letter because there was a mistake or a misunderstanding? So price, guarantee, will you be here, and will you sign it are the four big ones. If you don't have those, run away just like you're on fire because it's bad.
Never even thought about the summer thing. Like they're on vacation.
Oh, there are a lot of pop-ups. A lot of pop-ups this time. Okay. I'm a pro. I got TikTok. No, you're not a pro. You're a hobbyist.
Thanks, Mark. You make it fun somehow.
Well, go get your money. I'm in the give out money business. $300 billion changing hands in the next 30 days.
Great to have you.
Good to be here.
All right, coming up, flocking together for a fun hobby.
Yeah, when we come back, we're going to take you to Michigan, where one woman is making bird watching accessible for everyone. Stay with us. You are watching Morning News Now. Welcome back. All right, so if you have a pet goldfish and you can no longer care for it, you might think releasing it into a pond or lake is the right thing to do, right? Well, after all, what harm could one little fish do? Turns out a lot, actually. Take a look at this massive goldfish the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service found in Pennsylvania. After posting the photo on Facebook, the agency took the opportunity to warn fish owners to not release them in the wild. They captioned this photo, "From cute to brute." They explain that releasing goldfish can create an invasive problem, one that can last decades. So if you're thinking about setting your goldfish free, the agency advises you to consider rehoming it or to reach out to your local aquarium for help instead.
That is a nightmare fish, okay?
Please don't use the toilet. That's not it. That's not it.
Okay, I really don't want to see that picture again. Thank you, Joe.
Yep.
All right, we end this hour with a little bird watching, but with a twist. NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa has the story of the Michigan woman who's bringing people together to help make the beauty of nature accessible to everyone.
On a snowy Saturday outside Detroit, the draw of the great outdoors is undeniable.
Is a river in front of me?
No matter how you experience it. Welcome to the Great Backyard Bird Count, a bird watching retreat for the blind.
It's at least 4 or 5, isn't it? I know it's several.
On this day, hearing the trademark calls of Canada geese, blue jays, and more.
This is about feeling nature, experiencing nature.
Yes, it's about sensing nature, I like to say.
The outing organized by Donna Posant, who founded Birding by Ear and Beyond through the University of Michigan Dearborn after a genetic condition stole her sight as a child, but left her love of exploring intact, whether through listening, feeling, even hiking.
With the right training and the right skills, we can live life like other people. We say we live the life we want.
Even out in the woods.
Oh yeah, this is the life I want.
Her spirit inspiring first-time and veteran birders alike.
I can smell the flowers, we can hear the birds. There's a stereotype that we can't explore nature because we can't see. And so going against that stereotype, I love it.
Confidence and a connection with nature, universal in every sense. Maggie Vespa, NBC News, Proud Lake State Park, Michigan.
So many ways to enjoy nature. That is going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
Stay with us. The news continues right now. Good morning, and thanks for being with us on this Wednesday. I'm Savannah Sellers.
I'm Joe Fryer. Right now on Morning News Now, defiance and division punctuating President Trump's fiery address before a joint session of Congress. The commander-in-chief touting his whirlwind first few weeks in office as the most successful era in the history of our country. We've got a full recap, including the protests and pushback from top Democrats. Outside Washington, fears of an all-out trade war rattling both Wall Street and Main Street. President Trump's tariff turmoil shaking up markets for a second straight day. How will it all impact your wallet, and where might we see the biggest price hikes in the coming months? Also this morning, winter's not over yet for millions across the country. A monster storm system stirring up whiteout conditions in the Midwest. Down south, Mardi Gras partygoers forced to take cover from powerful winds. Our Angie Lastman is tracking it all for you in just a moment. And as Catholics around the world mark the beginning of Lent on this Ash Wednesday, we'll take you to the Vatican. We'll have the latest on the health of Pope Francis, now stable, heading into the Holy Season. Another important update there. Let's begin with President Trump's joint address to Congress. In a sprawling partisan speech, the president touted his newly imposed tariffs, the crackdown on illegal immigration, and cuts to what he called wasteful spending. Over the course of an hour and 40 minutes, he also compared himself to George Washington and declared that America's golden age has only just begun.
Meanwhile, Democrats held signs up in protests against many of the president's claims. Some of them even walking out while Mr. Trump was speaking. Here's NBC News Chief White House correspondent Peter Alexander with some of the biggest moments.
Good morning. This speech was 100 minutes long. The president telling it like he sees it. As one top Trump ally texted me, it was a confident President Trump on steroids, acknowledging it was the most partisan speech he'd ever seen by a president in that chamber, at times theatrical, often combative. The president selling his vision for America and what he says he has already achieved.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
President Trump kicking off his address to Congress with a simple declaration.
America is back.
Celebrating his political comeback.
I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back.
And reflecting on his first 6 weeks in office.
It has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action.
Near the beginning of the speech, the president interrupted by Texas Democrat Al Green, repeatedly shouting, "You don't have a mandate." Then removed by the House Speaker. On the same day he announced tariffs against U.S. allies Canada and Mexico, the president said little about his campaign promises to lower prices, acknowledging his tariffs may cause temporary economic pain.
There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much.
Just days after a heated encounter in the Oval Office with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky that led to a freeze on U.S. aid to Ukraine. The president quoting from a letter he received from Zelensky, saying Ukraine is ready for peace talks with Russia.
Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians.
The president repeating his desire to take control of the Danish territory of Greenland, despite Denmark repeatedly rejecting his overtures.
And I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it.
President Trump also leaning heavily into culture war issues, attacking transgender rights and DEI programs.
And our country will be woke no longer.
And President Trump emphasized the unprecedented role the world's richest man, Elon Musk, and his Department of Government Efficiency have taken in slashing the federal workforce.
Doge, perhaps you've heard of it, which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight.
Michigan Senator Alyssa Slotkin delivering the Democratic response, attacking Musk and his team.
Is there anyone in America who is comfortable with him and his gang of 20-year-olds using their own computer servers to poke through your tax returns, your health information, and your bank accounts?
Among the night's most poignant moments, the president paying tribute to the family of Laken Riley, a nursing student killed by an undocumented immigrant in 2024, and honoring 13-year-old brain cancer survivor DJ Daniel.
I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
The president ending on a positive note in front of a divided chamber with very different views on his first several weeks.
The golden age of America has only just begun.
President Trump last night also making a series of false and exaggerated claims, insisting Doge has found hundreds of billions of dollars in fraud, which is a crime, but he's provided no evidence. And even Elon Musk's team is not claiming it's found anywhere near $100 billion worth. President Trump not taking his message on the road today. Instead, Vice President Vance will tout success cracking down on illegal immigration at the border today, while the president stays put here at the White House. Back to you.
All right, Peter, thank you.
Let's now take a closer look at how members of Congress are reacting to what they heard from the president last night. NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Melanie Zanona joins us. Mel, a lot of tension in the room last night. We saw it play out on television. Talk more about how lawmakers behaved and reacted to the speech.
Yeah, it was rowdy, guys, not just from Democrats, but also from Republicans. But heading into this speech last night, I reported that House Democratic leaders had counseled their Democrats to not protest, to not use props, to not make themselves the story. They wanted to keep the spotlight on Trump and the impacts of Trump's policies on everyday Americans. That is not what happened. First of all, to kick things off, Democrats didn't join the escort committee traditionally that walks Trump into the chamber. So that was the first sign of protest. There was multiple members who were holding up signs that said everything from Elon Musk lies to false to save Medicaid to this is not normal. At one point, a Republican reached across the aisle to literally rip one of those signs out of a Democrat's hands, and just a sign of how tense things were right off the gate. But perhaps the most memorable moment of the night was when Democrat Al Green stood up and he started waving his cane around and saying, "You do not have a mandate, President Trump, to cut Medicaid." At that point, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, said, "You've been warned," asked him to sit down. He refused. And so then Mike Johnson ordered the Sergeant of Arms to remove him from the chamber, which happened. I've never seen that in all my time covering Congress over these last almost 15 years at this point. It was a really extraordinary moment. And afterwards, Speaker Mike Johnson said he would support a censure resolution to formally punish Al Green. So we're going to be on the lookout for that today. But just an example of how tense things have become, how hyper-partisan things have become for this even traditionally supposed to be dignified State of the Union, all the pomp and circumstance, that has devolved in recent years. But we particularly saw that on display last night.
So, Mel, let's talk about what you're hearing from both sides, like kind of reviews of the president's speech.
Well, of course, that is going to differ by Republicans and Democrats. Republicans, by and large, were absolutely thrilled. There was chants of USA. There was multiple standing ovations. They were cheering for even things like tariffs and repealing something called the CHIPS Act, a bipartisan bill that many of them voted for. So they were giving nothing but support for Donald Trump last night in that room. Whereas Democrats, they were in, obviously a really tough spot last night. because they're under pressure to, as I mentioned, show a dignified response, but they also have pressure from their own base to stand up to Donald Trump. Just take a listen to some of the reaction that we heard last night.
Very excited about all that the president has accomplished in 43 short days and the promise of what he can accomplish in the days ahead.
All the antics with pointing to the balcony, all these special guests, all the emotion around immigration enforcement, it's all a distraction for what they really are up to, which is to fleece American people out of benefits and to give a lot of tax cuts and save a lot of money for their rich friends.
So just a sort of example there of how Democrats particularly are going to be messaging on some of these Trump policies as Republicans try to push those through in Congress.
Yeah, and Mel, after all this, lawmakers have to get back to trying to work together. They're facing a government shutdown in just over a week. That's going to be one of the major headlines we cover over the next week. Where do things stand?
Well, at this point, it's almost certain that they're going to have to pass a continuing resolution. So what that does is just carry over current funding levels. It's called a stopgap spending bill, or a CR, as we call it around here in Capitol Hill. But typically, GOP leaders have needed Republican support in order to pass those bills because they have a lot of hardline conservatives who just won't vote for any CRs as a matter of principle. So it's really up to Democrats right now about whether they're actually going to vote for this. They have not been very committal about what they're going to do. I think behind the scenes, they are really weighing whether they want to provide the votes or they want to use this leverage point to stand up to Trump. That has not been decided yet. And meanwhile, the House Republican leadership, as well as President Donald Trump, are really trying to work over some of their conservative members who actually, for the first time, perhaps support a CR. And I think it's notable that they're going to have Elon Musk come to the Capitol later today for a discussion with House Republicans, because as you may remember, he was one of the reasons why they tanked a CR in December after Elon Musk came out and against it. A number of Republicans then turned on the measure. So clearly an effort this time around to make sure Elon Musk is on board, make sure Donald Trump is on board, and try to get as many Republican votes as possible for this.
All right, Mel, thank you so much.
Well, President Trump also touted his use of tariffs in Canada, Mexico, and China during his speech last night.
All three major U.S. markets closed lower on Tuesday because of concerns over a full-blown trade war with America's biggest trading partners. This morning, U.S. stocks are expected to rebound amid signs that there could be a compromise tariff deal with Canada and Mexico. NBC News senior business correspondent Christine Romans is here with the latest. Hi, Christine.
Hi, and what kind of compromise? You're seeing futures sort of, I don't know, we'll see how the markets react later today, but you've got Canada, Mexico, and China accounting for 42% of all U.S. imports. The tariffs could drive up prices on products in nearly every sector, and those higher prices, at least some of them, are likely to be passed down to American consumers. But then less than 24 hours after taking effect, the Trump administration, at least the Commerce Secretary, started signaling that we could maybe see some of it scaled back.
From a tailspin on Wall Street to nervous consumers on Main Street.
Are eggs going to double, or is gas going to go through the roof?
Concern and confusion over the impact of President Trump's trade war against America's three most important trading partners, Mexico, Canada, and China.
Whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth.
But just hours after they took effect, the administration signaling there may be a compromise with Mexico and Canada, but arguing the U.S. allies need to show they're fighting illegal immigration and the drug trade.
So he's really looking carefully at that, trying to figure out, is there a way in there that he can come in the middle? But they've got to do more.
Ahead of any deal, China, Mexico, and Canada vowing to retaliate.
Canadians are reasonable, and we are polite, but we will not back down from a fight.
The premier of Canada's Ontario province warning that American consumers will suffer and that he may even shut off power in neighboring states where Canada supplies it.
I will use every single tool in our toolkit to fight back.
Some experts predict tariffs could mean higher prices at the pump for millions of Americans in the immediate future.
The next week or so, gas prices will start going up. By mid-March, gas prices in New England could be 20 to 30 cents a gallon higher.
Consumer confidence already showing some signs of a slump, with spending recently falling for the first time in nearly 2 years. Some major retailers say higher prices may be passed on to their customers. Target's CEO warning prices on fruits and vegetables from Mexico could rise in the next few days.
We're going to try to make sure we can do everything we can to protect pricing. But if there's a 25% tariff, those prices will go up.
So, Christine, the big question here, we have the Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick yesterday, as well as I understand just a few moments ago, referencing a potential deal. What details do we know, and could that stop the surge in prices?
No details. We have nothing firm. We have the Canadian Foreign Minister telling BBC that these cabinet secretaries, they say things on TV and in these high-level meetings with Canada and Mexico, but they don't speak for President Trump. You have President Trump last night, who was very clear. I mean, this is my metaphor. He wants to put the screws to American trading partners, and he wants to really tighten those screws because he feels aggrieved about drugs, immigration, trade deficits, and a whole host of other things. So we will see if there's some sort of walk back today on the Canada-Mexico tariffs, if that is wishful thinking from Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary. If it's some sort of a trial balloon, we just don't know. But this is the zone we are in, where you're seeing international trade policy made via social media posting and TV interviews from cabinet secretaries. I think you have to take the president at his word last night. He is very, very strong on tariffs, and we are entering a new protectionist era under the Trump administration.
And even acknowledged a little discomfort. He said it last night. That's right.
He said, bear with me, America, bear with me. So higher prices, disruption in supply chains, those are the things we could see in the near term. Right now, we're reading the tea leaves to see if there's some sort of any kind of announcement today that shows maybe a walk back off the cliff. But it's completely uncertain.
All right, Christine,
nice to see you.
Thank you. You too.
Another major story we're following this morning, the deadly severe winter system that's battering states nationwide. It's bringing blizzards to the upper Midwest, tornadoes and blinding rain to the south and east. The weather was so bad in Louisiana, even Mardi Gras revelers in New Orleans were forced to take cover. NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa joins us now from Rochester, Minnesota. That's the snowy part of the storm, with more on what we can expect. Maggie, good morning.
Hey, Joe, good morning. Yeah, a newly snowy Rochester, Minnesota. All this snow is new overnight. It really only started falling in the last few hours or so at a rate of up to 1 inch per hour. You know, that's super heavy. You add to that, we've had winds that are kind of sporadic, but wind gusts topping out around 50 miles per hour, blowing the snow all over the roads. And this is really just one layer in a monster system that, at least in a couple of cases, may have turned deadly.
This morning, a late winter whiteout with monster blizzards bearing down on millions across the Midwest, causing treacherous travel on the roads just in time for the morning commute. This massive storm system wreaking havoc across much of the country. In Mississippi, local media reports 2 people were killed and a third hospitalized by falling trees and downed power lines. Authorities have yet to confirm whether the incidents were indeed weather-related. Blinding dust storms sweeping across Texas, with at least 7 tornadoes confirmed in Oklahoma.
I was scared. I mean, I just said the prayer. I just said, God, don't let any of us get killed.
This high school's roof in Plano torn to shreds. These small planes tossed like toys. At its peak, more than 300,000 people across Texas lost power. While in New Orleans, Mardi Gras celebrations cut short. Even so, partygoers in the Big Easy making the most of it.
Even if the parade not going on, we're still going to be out here having fun.
This is kind of our Super Bowl. I mean,
this is your Super Bowl.
Yeah. Back in the Midwest, Minnesota's Department of Transportation deploying more than 100 plows to try and keep Mother Nature's late winter wrath in check.
The roads are going to be a mess.
Yes, they will. You really have to determine what's your driving capability, what's your vehicle capability, and do you really need to make that trip?
And thankfully, as you can see, the roads here in the city seem to be at least passable. Drivers taking it slow, but doing okay. But we hear the highways this morning are indeed a mess. And then one final layer in all of this, power outages. Close to 500,000 people across the Midwest and South waking up without power this morning. So, Joe, no surprise, crews racing to get that turned back on.
No doubt. All right, Maggie, thank you.
Maggie, love your winter gear. Love her coordinating blue. She looks great, even though she has to be out there in the cold. For more details on how severe the storm could be impacting your area, let's take a look at your morning news now weather.
Angie Lastman is here with that. Angie, good morning.
Hi, guys. Good morning to you. We've got another active morning. You heard Maggie kind of talking about the cold side of the system and a bit about the warmer side. But let's start with the warmer side, where things have already ramped up and we've seen additional severe alerts prompted already this morning. One of those is that tornado watch that's now centered across the Carolinas, Wilmington, Charleston, Columbia, Raleigh, all included in that. This is going to go through early afternoon. So 1 p.m. Eastern time is when that is set to expire. You can see this system is moving quite quickly, but we still have these thunderstorm warnings that are, or watches rather, that are in effect for parts of the southeast too, stretching down into parts of Florida. This is going to be the main area that we watch for the potential for some of these stronger and more severe storms to develop and as the day goes on. 39 million people have the potential for that. The specific enhanced risk, Charleston to Norfolk, again, Raleigh and Wilmington are included in that. No surprise, we have those tornado watches already up for folks there. A couple of tornadoes are, of course, possible. We've also got the blizzard warnings and other winter alerts that are up for 18 million people. We have those impressive snowfall rates that Maggie mentioned, but also really strong winds. This means that whiteout conditions are possible in some locations. And of course, travel is going to be difficult across parts of the upper Midwest. On top of that, a whole chunk of the country under these wind alerts, 60, 70 mile per hour winds. So again, no surprise with the power outages and airport delays across much of the country. We'll see those wind speeds 40, 50, even close to 70 miles per hour, specifically across parts of the Central Plains. The good news is this system is a fast mover. So it is massive and covers a big chunk of the country, but it's going to be out of here by the time we start to wrap up today and head into tomorrow for some folks. Now, who isn't going to see this kind of wrap up as we get through the day today? Parts of the Northeast, parts of the Great Lakes, you'll still have those strong winds coming across the lake. So some snow and some windy conditions for the upper Midwest. And then we'll have a little bit of that rain kind of hanging out across parts of the Northeast. Even tomorrow, still some snow for our friends across the Great Lakes. Now, East Coast warmth stays with us for today. So yes, it's going to be a little rainy in some spots, but we've got temperatures running above normal, mid-50s for New York. Different story for Kansas City. Behind that system, we've got that cold air filtering in, so it's the 30s for folks there. As we get into tomorrow, that cooler air starts to settle in for parts of the southeast. Guys, 'tis the season for the roller coaster ride when it comes to temperatures.
Warm, cold, warm, cold. It's
Snow,
all
rain,
over.
severe weather, spring.
In
a nutshell.
Thanks, Angie. Of course. There's much more to come on this hour of Morning News Now, including new details in the death of Hollywood legend Gene Hackman and his wife. More on the condition that their bodies were found in at their New Mexico home.
First, after the break, we're going to take you to the Vatican on this Ash Wednesday for the latest on the health of Pope Francis. The pontiff showing signs of improvement as he battles a serious case of double pneumonia. Those stories and more next.
Welcome back. The Vatican says Pope Francis rested well overnight and woke up shortly after 8 a.m. on his 20th day in the hospital. The 88-year-old pontiff is showing signs of improvement after suffering 2 respiratory episodes earlier this week.
It all comes as Christians around the world mark Ash Wednesday. That's the first day of the 40-day period of Lent that is so important to their faith.
NBC News correspondent Ann Thompson joins us now from Vatican City with the latest here. Hey, Ann, so first, how is the Pope doing this morning? We got a little bit of details. Does it seem like he's maybe stabilized?
Yeah, he is. The Vatican says he is stable, but they say his prognosis is guarded because he is still battling double pneumonia. The good news, Savannah and Joe, is that he didn't have any more of those respiratory failures or bronchial spasms that he's had in the past few days. So that's good. It was a pretty uneventful day yesterday overall for the Pope. They put him back on that non-invasive breathing machine, which is basically a mask that pumps oxygen directly into his nose and mouth. They did that overnight. That was supposed to happen. He is now off it this morning. We are told he is getting supplemental oxygen, and he's also undergoing what they call respiratory physiotherapy, and that's to try to help break up the mucus that is in his lungs because of the double pneumonia.
So, Ann, last week the Vatican chose Cardinal Angelo Di Donatis to replace the Pope in today's Ash Wednesday celebrations in Rome. Tell us more about him and just how the city is reacting to the Pope's absence on this important day.
Well, it's a very appropriate choice, Joe, because that cardinal is in charge of the Vatican tribunal that oversees excommunication and serious sins in the Catholic Church. And this is a day of penance. And as you said, it marks the start of 40 days of prayer and penance in the Christian world, and in particular in the Catholic Church. And if you have Christian or Catholic friends, you know they're always giving up candy or desserts or maybe wine or beer or something like that for this 40-day period. How is the city reacting to it? I can tell you every time we stand out here, people come and stop and ask how the Pope is. There is great concern. He is very popular here in Rome and throughout Italy, in no small part because he took the name of the beloved saint of Italy, St. Francis of Assisi. That and all his outreach over his 11 years as leader of the Catholic Church have made him very popular and have people here very concerned.
What plans does the Vatican have in place for the rest of the Holy Season if the Pope does continue to be absent?
You know, Savannah, they're taking it day by day. The Pope was supposed to participate in a Lenten retreat starting on Sunday with the Curia. That's the bureaucracy here at the Vatican. He is not going to do that, obviously. He will most likely still be in the hospital. But he will be in spiritual communion with them. And so we will see what happens. But there are no sort of forward-looking plans. I mean, the next big thing on the Catholic calendar is Holy Week, and that's not for 6 weeks. So maybe the picture will be completely different by then.
All right. Ann Thompson, thank you very much.
More international news now this morning. A rare cyclone is barreling toward the Australian coast, and that is putting millions at risk.
NBC News international correspondent Kelly Kobiea has the latest on that and other world headlines. Hey, Kelly.
Good morning, Savannah and Joe. Millions of people in Australia are being warned of a worst-case scenario as a rare Category 2 storm barrels toward Brisbane on Australia's southeastern coast. Authorities there are urging people to evacuate, saying there's a chance the cyclone will hit in the middle of the night with a high tide. Cyclone Alfred is expected to make landfall tomorrow or Friday, bringing 1.5 feet of rain, flooding, and destructive winds. It's the first cyclone to target that part or threaten that part of Australia in more than 3 decades. British scientists today say the world's biggest iceberg appears to have run aground after drifting in the Southern Ocean near Antarctica for 4 years. The iceberg, which is slightly smaller than the state of Rhode Island and weighs more than 1 trillion tons, appears to be grounded on the continental shelf, these scientists say. There were worries the iceberg would block feeding grounds for seals and penguins if it got too close to the island of South Georgia, but it has stopped moving about 56 miles from shore. And finally, it's not every day you see people in zany hats and crazy costumes flipping pancakes in the streets of London and running no less. Only on Mardi Gras or Fat Tuesday or Pancake Day, as we call it here. Runners dressed up, grabbed their frying pans and flipped pancakes as they ran in London and in other cities across the UK. That tradition, guys, dates back to 1445. When legend has it, a housewife heard the church bells for Fat Tuesday services and ran out of her house, skillet in hand. It is a 450-yard sprint, guys. One runner said, you just have to go flat out and hope you don't fall.
We see it every year, and every time it just surprises me.
Yeah.
It's so whimsical.
That happens? Yeah,
Exactly.
Thanks, Kelly.
All right, coming up, we've got a new health warning this morning over some popular synthetic hairstyles.
After the break, why one leading consumer group is calling for a federal investigation over dangerous carcinogens found in products. We'll explain next. We're back with new details surrounding the deaths of Gene Hackman, his wife, Betsy Arakawa, and their dog. While the cause of their deaths largely remain a mystery, NBC News correspondent Liz Croyd spoke with the Santa Fe fire chief and learned some new details. Liz, good morning.
Hey, Savannah, good morning. Yeah, the investigation into the deaths of Gene Hackman and his wife is still ongoing, but additional testing has now been done on the home. Santa Fe's fire chief telling me it has even further ruled out any kind of lethal gas leak. He also shared new details about the state of Hackman's body when authorities arrived.
1 week since the bodies of Gene Hackman, his wife Betsy Arakawa, and one of their dogs were found deceased in their 9,000-square-foot Santa Fe home, their cause of death still a mystery. New this morning, the New Mexico Gas Company says they've now conducted what they call an extensive investigation of the home, saying there were no significant findings, only one minuscule non-lethal leak on a stove burner. which the Santa Fe fire chief Brian Moya says nearly all but rules out a gas leak.
They checked the roof, they checked every vent, they checked every part that had to do with gas, they checked, and there was no major finding.
But new details are emerging about the condition of Gene Hackman's body when he was found, which Moya says was in a similar condition to his wife's.
I know there was blackening on the hands, and we know he was there for at least a week and a half, so it was about the same.
Would that suggest that they both died within a similar time frame?
I think we wait for the autopsy on that one.
Right now, the best clue into when the 95-year-old actor died continues to be his pacemaker, which the sheriff says last showed activity on February 17th, nearly 10 days before the couple was discovered. The fire chief says the bodies were found 30 minutes apart, partly due to protocol as medics waited for the sheriff's department to arrive, and also due to the massive size of the home.
I was also told there's probably 3 homes on the property or 3 separate structures on the property, so they had to search each one of those structures.
Hackman was found in a mudroom and 65-year-old Arakawa in a bathroom where an open prescription pill bottle was on the counter along with scattered pills. Officials saying the medicine is a key part of the investigation. Hackman's nephew, Tim Hackman, now speaking out, telling Us Weekly the family doesn't want to speculate on negative theories out there and is trying to keep it positive.
Liz, authorities, I understand, now say there's body camera footage. Any idea if that's going to be released?
Yeah, Savannah, so there is. The Santa Fe Sheriff's Department says that they're watching all of that footage right now that was taken by responding deputies. They do plan to release some of it, but it may not be for several days. The fire chief says this was the first time in at least 3 years that anyone in his department has been called to Hackman's house. And of course, we are still waiting those toxicology results, which may not be available for weeks or even months. Savannah.
All right, Liz, thank you very much.
There is a new health warning this morning about synthetic hair used in popular protective styles like braids and extensions.
For many Black women, braiding with synthetic hair extensions isn't just about style. It's a go-to for protecting and growing their hair. But a new study from Consumer Reports is raising serious concerns. They found 10 products contained ingredients that can cause cancer, and most of these also contained lead.
NBC News Daily anchor Zincle Esamoah is here with more. Zincle, good morning. So this is a pretty alarming report. Walk us through what researchers found and why it's such a big concern.
Hey, good morning, Joe and Savannah. So alarming really is the right word. As you mentioned, they looked at 10 different products from multiple companies, and the findings were that 100% of these products contained carcinogens. Of course, carcinogens have the potential to cause cancer. 9 out of 10 contained lead, and all of them, 100%, contained VOCs, or volatile organic compounds. All of those, of course, known to potentially cause and have harmful health effects. If we put that in context, just look at the state of California. That means that 9 out of 10 of these products exceeded California's maximum recommendations for allowed lead by 600%. Notably, synthetic hair is not regulated by the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, and that is what this report now has many calling for. We reached out to the Environmental Working Group. They're a health, research, and advocacy organization. They said in part that while most of these products are below the FDA standard for lead contamination, when possible, of course, exposure to lead should be avoided. They went on to say that there really is no safe level of exposure to these chemicals, to these compounds. And this matters because, as you said, braids are often considered a protective hairstyle. We say protective because they can be worn for weeks at a time. They're often used to prevent breakage, to avoid heat styling and excessive manipulation. And so this really has many in the community asking, if these are protective, then why are these harmful chemicals in so many products, guys?
Absolutely. It really is crazy because there's also concern about hair dye potentially being cancer-causing. NBC News just did a big investigation on that. It's very wild when you think about it that none of it's regulated by anybody, not the FDA. What are women who use these products telling you?
Yeah, it's not just hair dye, right? We've talked about hair relaxers as well. Many of these products predominantly used by women of color, Black women. One of them is Crystal Thomas. She said that she decided to get braids for the first time in a decade, and then her symptoms started.
As I kept smelling this, my throat tightened up. It felt very dry, and I noticed my hair was itching, and it was just difficult to breathe overall. After a week of continuous washing, I said, seeing that the smell didn't go away, I said, you know what, I'm getting rid of these. As consumers, we implicitly want to believe that the products we purchase are safe. That's not always the case.
Now, notably, Crystal Thomas says she has only used synthetic hair for braiding. She's never tried human hair. And her concern is that this is not an anomaly. And so she's hoping that more products will be tested. Of course, Consumer Reports looked at 10 products, but there are a whole lot more on the market. We reached out to all of the companies that were named by Consumer Reports. We did not immediately hear back, but in a statement prior, Kaneka, which is the brand that Crystal Thomas used, told Consumer Reports in part that they manufacture the Kanekalon fibers that are used in hair products, but not the final products. They also said they need more information to analyze that complaint. And just generally, I think everybody is hoping to get a little more information about just what goes in to these hair products.
And Consumer Reports is asking the FDA to investigate very quickly what happens next.
Yeah, so Consumer Reports actually has launched a petition urging the FDA for stricter regulations on synthetic hair fibers. Right now, as I mentioned, those do not exist. Of course, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy just instated last month, so it remains to be seen what his stance will be around some of these issues, but a lot are pushing and hoping for change, guys.
All right, Zinkley, thank you so much.
Good to have you with us. Coming up, the fast food fight has a new player this morning.
Yeah, Shake Shack now wading into the value meal craze, but will hungry customers bite? We're going to dig into that next.
Welcome back. Well, it didn't take long for some of the nation's biggest retailers to feel the impact of President Trump's new international tariffs. And that means the snowball effect could hit Americans with higher prices in the coming days.
In response to the tariffs that went into effect on Mexico, Canada, and China yesterday, executives from both Target and Best Buy are already warning consumers to expect a price hike soon.
Senior reporter at Yahoo Finance, Brooke DePalma, joins us now for more on this. Brooke, good morning. So talk to us a little bit about what you're hearing from executives, the ones that we just mentioned, who are responding to this new set of U.S. tariffs. How do they expect it to impact business?
Good morning, Savannah. Good morning, Joe. It didn't take long for these retailers, CEOs, to weigh in on this. Target CEO Brian Cornell coming out yesterday morning immediately saying that categories like fruits and vegetables could see a price increase as soon as over the next couple of days. We do know that Target indicated that roughly 50% of its goods are made in the U.S. and it has reduced its dependency on China in recent years, but not really immune here. We also heard from Best Buy CEO Corey Berry. She weighed in saying that Best Buy sources roughly 55% of its products from China. Another 20% come from Mexico. It does not import any goods from Canada. But she told me that consumers seeing this impact is, quote, highly likely. She added that this is not just an overnight change that happens. This is going to be a long process. She also said that she expects this to really come to fruition, this increase in prices in Q2 through Q4, and consumers won't likely see it in this first quarter. But keep in mind, she said this is different for every vendor and every particular item, all the way down to each component part within the products that it sells. And even back as far as February, Walmart CFO John David Rainey also telling me that it was not immune. Of course, we know that Walmart touts that roughly 2/3 of its products are made, assembled, or grown in the U.S.
So I think for consumers, the big question is just how much prices could go up, how quickly. You touched on it there, but I mean, what are some of the factors that are going to go into how this can be passed along to consumers?
Joe, keep in mind that Mexico and Canada are two of the U.S.'s largest agriculture suppliers of agriculture products for the U.S. And so when you think about Mexico, they're a top supplier for avocados, for beer, for tequila, and tomatoes. Top imports from Canada also include grain and potatoes. Now, because of the inventory nature of these agriculture products, it's true what CEO of Target Brian Cornell had said, that in the next couple of days, next couple of weeks, as this inventory turns over, consumers can feel this on their grocery bill. But beyond that, because of the constant rotation of agriculture products, following that, technology could see higher prices, like Best Buy CEO said. Following that, we could see furniture see higher prices. And then eventually, once the turnover happens at apparel companies like Abercrombie and Fitch, we could also see apparel work its way to see higher prices as well.
Brooke, tell us about the Wall Street reaction here.
Yeah, well, on Tuesday, we saw a sell-off after this news was announced. And really what we saw ultimately was that stocks have erased this post-election rally during Tuesday's trading session. That euphoria among investors seemed to have been lost because of Trump's tariffs and the implication that this could have on economic growth becoming slower. Inflation also could remain stubbornly high with these tariffs in mind. And it gets to be seen, stock market opens at 9:30. What could happen during today's trading session as investors really digest the likelihood of these tariffs? We do know that Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick weighed in on Bloomberg this morning, and he said that while tariffs will still go into effect, it could get some relief for certain categories like automakers, GM and Ford stock seeing some relief there this morning.
All right, Brooke, thank you so much.
Speaking of prices, we're now taking a closer look at the latest in the fast food price wars. Shake Shack is jumping into the value meal game for the first time. It's a sign that affordable combo deals may not be leaving restaurant menus anytime soon. Chains are trying to attract customers who are looking to get more bang for their buck as food costs rise. NBC News correspondent Emily Ikeda takes a closer look.
Hey there, well, Shake Shack's deal runs through the next 2 weeks, trying to lure people in the door with that key word for inflation-weary customers right now, value. It comes at a time when one survey shows the majority of Americans are describing fast food as a luxury.
Amid rising prices for food, some chains hungry for more customers are eyeing value meals as their biggest selling point.
That's a big deal.
And this morning, a new challenger is looking to take a bite out of the competition.
Shake Shack. Worth it.
Shake Shack announcing its first ever combo meal at restaurants nationwide. The limited time offer includes a chicken sandwich, fries, and a small soda for $9.99. The company CEO telling NBC News, "We understand the challenges our guests are facing right now, and that's exactly why we've created a deal that everyone can feel good about." The popularity of value meals jumping last spring, with chains like McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's launching their own cheap eats.
And customers are telling us that they're really stretched.
While inflation has eased a bit, restaurant prices are up nearly 3.5% over last year, coupled with concerns over import tariffs and sky-high egg costs.
I just spent $70 at Chipotle for 4 people. That's insane.
Business owners are once again taking note. Chipotle telling NBC News it intends to hold prices constant for now.
We don't think it's fair to the consumer to pass those costs off to the consumer.
While McDonald's launched its McValue menu in January, Dairy Queen and Subway are also offering $7 deals. Even the dine-in restaurant Outback Steakhouse came out with a $15 3-course meal.
The best strategy for restaurants right now is to convince consumers that they're getting a really good value for the money.
And despite the value wars ramping up, experts say Taco Bell may hold the secret to success, with the company announcing sales are expected to increase 8% in the first quarter, expanding new food items on top of its Cravings value menu.
What tends to win in a market like this is brands that are able to offer value without just reducing prices.
And starting this week, you can also get Shake Shack 35,000 feet up. A partnership between Shake Shack and Delta Airlines is expanding this week to 4 new cities, a sign that it's not just restaurants leaning into buzzing new offerings to win over customers. Back to you.
All right, Emily, thank you. Apologies if, like me, that's going to send you into a spiral of just craving junk food. Well, let's stay on your wallet. Google is reportedly asking the Trump administration to reconsider efforts to break up the tech titans.
CNBC's Savannah now has your money headlines. Savannah, good morning.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Savannah. Good morning to you. All right, let's start with Google, which is urging President Trump's Justice Department to reverse course on plans to break up the company. That's according to a Bloomberg report. Now, the DOJ is currently pursuing 2 anti-monopoly cases against Google, one over search and one over its ad technology. Now, a Google spokesperson said the company routinely meets with regulators to discuss the case and that they're concerned the current proposals would harm the American economy and national security. The IRS is drafting plans to slash its workforce. Sources telling the Associated Press that the federal tax collector could cut 50% of its staff through a mix of layoffs, attrition, and incentivized buyouts.
Now, the agency was already downsized last month as the Trump administration worked to shrink the size of the federal workforce. The IRS laid off roughly 7,000 probationary employees in February. And one of South Korea's largest cultural exports is giving investors hope. The country has faced an economic slowdown, political turmoil, and now concerns around Trump tariffs. But 4 major K-pop companies seem to be above it all. The stocks have all gained at least 20% this year, far outperforming the country's major indexes.
A K-pop stimulus. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you so much. On the education front, recent studies show that young men are falling further behind in the classroom. Well, now there is a growing movement to help boys thrive and give them a better chance at succeeding in the future. NBC News Now anchor Morgan Radford shows us how.
It's just past 8 a.m. here at Boys Latin School in Baltimore, and while the classrooms are empty, the school is buzzing with activity.
In the mornings, we have open gym, like play basketball. We do scale modeling.
The reason? A wave of changes designed to solve a growing gender gap in education, with boys at least half a grade level behind their female peers in reading in nearly every U.S. state, and nearly 1 million fewer young men heading off to college compared to their female counterparts. Which is why, starting last year, this private all-boys school decided to do something about it.
Oh, okay.
With 3 big changes: a ban on cell phones, a first period for activities, and more time for hands-on projects, away from desks.
Show of hands, how many of you think these changes have been positive? All of you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've been getting better grades. I've also been happier in class.
Why do you think you've been happier?
Because before I was just like tired and I didn't want to be at school. When I get woken up, I just feel like I'm ready for the day.
We hear a lot of discussions out in the world about how young men are isolated, how young men are angry, how young men are lonely. Do you see that playing out in the world?
I can't really speak on loneliness, but it does take away a lot of negative emotions like anger, anxiety.
If you don't have your phone, you're saying?
If you don't have your phone, yeah.
It really just helps us all feel like we're connected and together.
It's the American dream.
Headmaster Chris Post calls it a win-win.
How much does it cost to make changes like these?
It costs virtually nothing. A few $100s for a phone locker and for plastic tubs to put your phone in.
Are these changes working?
Absenteeism is probably lower year on year. Certainly there are fewer and fewer student latenesses. Kids are excited to come to school.
The change is part of a growing nationwide movement to make education more boy-friendly, spurred in part by a new organization called the American Institute for Boys and Men.
The alarm bells are really ringing now in classrooms, which is to say, just our boys aren't doing well enough. There are twice as many girls at the top of the class, in the top 10%, as there are boys. Boys are much more likely to be suspended, much less likely to finish school on time. So the overall story is pretty clear that our education system is not serving our boys well enough.
What would you say to critics who say, look, girls could benefit from these changes too? Why is this specific to young men?
We want to find ways that lift everybody up, but which particularly offer a helping hand to those who are falling furthest behind. And in schools, that's very clearly boys.
Why are you looking at my hair?
For Michael Palmisano and his son Blake,
have you noticed a change in your son since he's enrolled here?
Yes, very much so. I've seen him ready to go to school instead of kind of retreating and pulling back. And I think so much of that is that they let boys be boys and they just go all in on that.
All in on a new school experience. Morgan Radford, NBC News.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Speaking of school, coming up, a high school experience like nothing you've probably heard of before.
After the break, we'll introduce you to the Minnesota teen who's balancing his social life with his studies to become a monk. Stick with us. That's up next. We are back with a 30 Rock reunion. NBC has announced a new comedy pilot which will reunite Tracy Morgan with Tina Fey. Morgan will play a disgraced former football player looking to rehabilitate his image. Fey is set to executive produce the show alongside another former 30 Rock showrunner. His name's Robert Carlock. The pilot doesn't yet have a title, but Deadline reports it is currently at the casting stage. Meanwhile, Morgan's also starring in Crutch, a spinoff of The Neighborhood for Paramount Plus. And also a few weeks back, we saw him get impersonated by Eddie Murphy on SNL's 50th anniversary special. He's having a moment.
He is, and hopefully the new show has 4 cheese lasagna and not 3 cheese lasagna, as Eddie told us. Tracy likes. All right. Let's end this hour in Minnesota with a high schooler who's fulfilling his lifelong spiritual calling. Reporter Jessica Hart from our NBC affiliate in Minneapolis, KARE 11, shows us how he balances life as a student athlete with a field of study you just might not expect.
A voice as strong as the wind can lead hundreds of people.
Yeah.
A voice Jalu Dorji will learn to perfect.
This probably takes a while to learn.
Once he graduates high school, he'll have years to practice.
I will be going overseas to Mindreling Monastery, which is a school in India. That's where I'll begin my monastic studies.
Studies fit for a leader of peace.
It was always, your Lama.
When he was a toddler, the Dalai Lama recognized him as a reincarnated Lama.
To me, it's just someone that is responsible to teach peace.
A voice of peace is what he hopes to become.
His Holiness the Dalai Lama always says, we need to find a way to bring 8 billion people into oneness. So that's sort of what I want to teach.
Reciting Tibetan texts hundreds of years old, Jalu leads from the front with the other monks, a role that comes naturally.
There hasn't been a time where I could think of like a big bump.
Big bumps he avoided with the help of his parents.
He wakes up really early to teach me, and that's something he's been doing since I was 4. So now I'm 18.
An 18-year-old who studies scripture before school, plays left guard, and manages the basketball team at Irondale High School. Blending the life he was destined for and the life of a teenage boy.
I definitely think it's going to help me in the future, relating to the people.
While his pitch isn't this deep, Jalu has already found his voice.
Well, that is impressive.
Good for him, and we can all use a little bit of that peace right now.
No kidding.
Right. That is going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
Stay with us, though. The news continues right now.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.